Welcome back to another episode of Look What Jess Found. Today is episode, I want to say 207. Let me just check. Content. Yes, 207. By the way, that's decaf. Jess has been off of caffeine now, I want to say, for about 3 weeks. I don't think it's quite a month yet. Um, and let me tell you, man, I didn't feel good for the first week at all. But anyway, so in episode 206, we reviewed the one of the penny rolls from the branch that I go to, where the ladies are very nice, and they really hooked me up. They hooked up the channel, really. I mean, I don't. In my personal life, I don't need pennies. In my personal life, all I need is Christ. But for the channel, the channel needs pennies, and so that was a very nice thing for them to do for the channel, and right, because I get to share it with my audience, subscribers, and members. These are, if you hopefully you watched the video 206 already, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So we went through a bunch of, we got 130 penny rolls from the bank yesterday, and most of them were similar, right? So there was like, I don't know, 40 of this penny wrapper, 40 of that penny wrapper. And the one that we opened up yesterday was like the most awesome one. It was all copper. And I never saw it before. I threw it out because it's a little smelly. And believe me, I like the smelly ones. Ah, yeah. Beautiful copper. Oh, man. Look at that. 68. There's a 68D in there, too. And a straggler. And I think that the uniqueness of the penny wrapper, the stinkiness of the roll, all led me to and that the fact that they were all copper, they were beautiful, beautiful condition. Many of them were in mint state condition, and led me to believe that it was some older person who had them in their basement, and for however long, and decided to bring them into the bank. So it was all very, it was a very nice, almost like a spiritual experience, as opposed to luck. I'm saying it was a very nice set of circumstances. So today, what we're going these are two of the different types of rolls from the bank, and we're going to check them out. I do not expect these to be all copper, which obviously they are not already. Let me put the penny mat up on the screen. Okay. Yeah, it was a long day for me yesterday. Um, I wanted to do that episode when I came home because, I told the ladies that I would shout them out and do a special, mention them. They said, oh, put hashtag. They actually said put hashtag in the 2001. I forgot what they said. Hashtag Mahanoy City or hashtag M&T Bank. So that's what I did. They asked me to do it. I did it. It was my pleasure. First copper. It's a nice one. It's close to AU. Yeah, so Mahanoy City is it's a small town. I mean, I could look up the statistics on it. You know, for some reason I got like, you know what? Let me look it up. I don't want to. I don't. I hate saying talking when I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like a peeve of mine. Let me see. Let's see what Wikipedia says about Mahanoy City. So I was going to say 3,000 just to show you how well I know the town. It says 3,500. So I think that would be considered small. I remember I called it a small town in a previous video, and someone left a comment saying that 3,500 is not small or something like that. Um, I don't know. I guess it could be smaller, but anyway, it's a small town, and that's the only bank in the town, obviously. It's interesting. I'll put it to the side. It's just an interesting penny. Tilted hub. I have to change my posture sometimes. I start leaning too forward. 2015, no doubling, no key variety. But I'm quite familiar with the town. I used to have a bunch of properties there, and I always used that bank. That's a beauty. And the ladies are still there 15 years later. We're all obviously 15 years older. um, but nice to see that they're still there, friendly faces. They didn't get, what's the word I'm looking for? I know you're all saying it. You're all shouting out the word I'm looking for. I guess I'll just say like bitter, you know, after working someplace for so long. The other branch that I went to the other day, where I did a couple of the penny rolls, that's kind of how the lady there seemed to me. She seemed a little, you know, like she was much older, but she just seemed a little bitter. Like she just took the job way too personal. You know, believe it or not, not many people do this. You know, if you get one or two people at a bank, that's probably a lot. I bet most banks nobody does penny roll hunting. You know, so to act like, you know, those pennies are your personal pennies from your house, that's kind of, you know, doesn't make sense to me. But I think that could happen if you work someplace so long that you'll take things personal, and these ladies don't. 1960. It's not the D, so it's not a key variety, but it is um, bronze. Maybe the other word I was looking for was like burnt out. I know I've been burnt out from some of my previous jobs. That's for sure. I mean, social work's a little bit different, I think, than banking, but the kindness they showed is really appreciated. I don't know if they subscribed or not, or even saw the videos. Um, there's a little. You see that on the B, like a little dent around the B. Let me look at that under the loop. It's interesting. It looks like there's just a hard strike around the Liberty. No white AM. And I think also another. I was just thinking about, while I'm looking at the pennies, I probably got distracted, and I'm thinking about, the other kind people who I have come across. Oh, that is a super rim dent. I never seen one like that exactly. That's a nice one. It's a little different. So for example, our members, to me, they're kind people. You know, our members are kind people. They're here. They don't have. You guys don't have to subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of penny channels you can watch all day long. It's a kindness. That they're showing. You know, shout out to my members, Sheila, Sandra, Donald, Otis, and Eric, keeneEyeCollectables. Um, and the members who came and left. You know, God bless them also. And I think it's nice to. Is that a wire rim? Hard to say. I'm gonna say it's not. I don't know if that's a wire rim or not, or just a collar error. They're both collar errors, but a wire rim's really when the metal is pushed over. So I don't know if this is metal pushed over or something. It's hard to tell. Interesting. I'll put it to the side. But it's nice to be able to share in that experience. Um, I'm going to have to say that my fondest memories. Look at this. Nah. I thought maybe it was a planchet error or grease strike. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out again later. I don't think so. I'll probably just chuck it. You know what? Let me look at it. Let me look at it under the loop. Oh, I see. Probably post mint damage. I'm not gonna hold on to it. I mean, I'm not gonna do a video on it. Are of kindnesses, and some of them, well, they all touched me in a special way, but some of them were life changing. Um, I have, oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful misaligned dyed, annealed sintered scent. Super red, super red. Wow, what a nice example. Almost no rim on the left side. What a nice one. um, if it wasn't for becoming a social worker, I don't know. I don't know where my life would have taken me, to be honest with you. Just on a personal note, um, I wasn't the most academic person in the world at that time, and I knew the streets were not going to. There was nothing there for me. There was just nothing there, and I took psychology as in my undergrad, and it was really difficult for me. And I said, let me try to become a social worker because I knew some through jobs, and I liked what they were doing. And I said, okay, I think I could do that. With having very little direction in my life at that time, in my 20s. And I applied to quite a few colleges, for my master's degree, to become a social worker. And which, let me tell you, they were expensive. I remember they were about, I can't remember. I don't know if I spent if they were $200 per application, or if I did 4 applications, that came out to 200. So I don't know if I spent 800 total. I can't remember if they're $50 a piece or 200 a piece at the time. 68D. No. Anyway, well, that whole thing about if the letter is thin or thick, that's all true. Because let me tell you, three no-nos came real quick, man. And I was, man, my heart sank every time one of those letters came, and it was a little envelope, like a letter envelope. I was like, oh man. And then the third one came, the fourth one came, and it was a bigger envelope. I'm not even 30 years old at this point. I'm 29. 29 or 28. 28, 20. It was the summer of, it's the summer of 2000. So now, man, I'm 28 years old. I turned 29 that year. 28 years old, man. Which, of course, if you're older, 28 is like a kid. My son is in his 30s. Let's just put it like that. And the letter said, congratulations, you got into college. One of the happiest days of my life. So, start college, 2 months later? 97, looking for the double ear. No double ear. And if I told the story again, I'm sorry. I doubt anybody even heard it because you'd have to watch all my videos. So I could probably tell the same story every couple months, and nobody would be the wiser. But I don't think I told this story before. And let me tell, it was a great experience. It was very different than undergraduate, and I think the early, what was that? The early 2000s was, it was a different world, a different place. Um, anyway, so I had this professor, and small Puerto Rican dude. When I say small, I mean he looked like one of the hobbits from Lord of the Rings, but cool as anything. 96, and he told me. So he was my professor for like three of my classes, and not on the first day. I mean, I want to say I had to be going there for a couple weeks already, and 95. There's any doubling on the obverse? We got a key variety, and he pulled me to the side, because things are very personal when you're taking a master's class. It's very different. Some of the teachers are master's levels, um, adjuncts. That's a nice one. I'll put that into the AUs. And he pulled me to the side one day. He said something like this. He said, "Do you know why you're here?" And I said, "Yeah. I mean, I applied to the school and I got accepted." And he said, "Nah." He goes, "That's not why you're here." I mean, I guess he wanted me to know, and that's okay, you know. But he basically said, "No, I wrote my my entrance letter was kind of like a plea, to be honest with you. I'm gonna look at that in a second. It was almost like a plea, because my grades weren't that hot, and and I didn't want to. And I think my GRE was really horrible. Whatever is bad, that's what I had. I'm gonna look at the blisters in the head. Those are pretty cool. And the color is this toning on this penny is out of sight. I really like this. I like the bubbles and I like the toning. It's a very interesting scent. He said, "No, that's not why you're here." He goes, "You're here because I read your letter." He goes, "You know, obviously my grades were, I met the minimum requirements for the college, but of course, you know, if you got," and he said it. He said, we got thousands and thousands of applications, and you know, your grades were not that great." He goes, "But I read your letter, your and it touched me, and I wanted to give you a shot. I want to give you a chance." And because your application landed on my desk, he said that, he goes, there were, not what he said, there was like 4 or 5 people, I guess, that go through these letters. You know what I mean? You can't give thousands of applications to one person, right? So he goes, your application just happened to land on my desk. Man, this guy blew me away for the rest of my life, and I never forgot it. Never forgot him. Angel Campos, and that break that he gave me really changed my life. I'm 100,000% certain of that. It led me down a different direction than I was traveling down. And I've had other experiences like that throughout my life. Um, but that's one of them. So I'm going to say, that acts of kindness are so powerful. You know, there's a saying that says, no good deed goes unpunished. And you know who I think wrote that? The devil. The devil wrote that to keep people from doing acts of kindness, um, to keep people from doing acts of kindness. Because that's not been my experience. Good, no good deed goes unrewarded. That's what. Um, look at that one. Right through the elements, right? I'm gonna look at that under the loop, and that's how the saying should go. No good deed goes unrewarded. Maybe I'll put it with the other one. What was it? The first one we found had that kind of tilt. Yeah, the first one, very similar. What years are they? 96 and 90, 86 and 90. I'll put them together. I already have 6 for the shorts. And I think what those ladies did yesterday was a good deed. They didn't have to do that. Most other banks would not do that. And if you think about it, what does it really cost anyone to be nice to somebody? Most of the time, nothing. Right? I mean, out of pocket or in the scope, nothing. Nothing. It costs nothing. So anyway, I get into this type of mood every once in a while. Check out the little lines in the rim on this one. See if you can see it. Now, I think the light makes it worse. Yeah. No good. Maybe there you can see it. Now, I found some in the past that have. Um, I'm gonna assume it's a stutter strike, meaning that the another penny landed and was hit, and you could see it on the rim. Um, this one's not a stutter strike. I believe it is copper though. Is it? Let me see. Yeah, that's copper. I put it with the fines. Yeah, so every once in a while I get in this mood, and you know, um, it probably doesn't matter what I say anyway, because the only people listening at this point are probably the members and very few subscribers. I mean, I have over 7,000 subscribers. Oh man, yo, if 7,000 subscribers watch my videos till the end, oh, forget about it, man. I could quit my day job. Not that it's paying much anyway, but forget about it. That's the difference in what's it called? Revenue, earnings. Forget about it. The long videos, watching it to the end. Oh man, I probably make $20 each video. Forget about it. Man, I could get some more pennies with it. So this was a nice roll, not nowhere near as nice as the stinky wrapped roll. You know, we didn't find no wham, any super duper. I mean, we still got some more here, but I'm just saying 94. We're looking for doubling on the reverse. I see those lines in the bays. They're interesting. Let me look at that. Nah, it's just dirt. A lot of 64s, right? Oh, it's a beauty. I'll put that with the MS. Oh, nice. Oh, that's such a nice. Oh, you can see. Wow. Wow, man. Hold on. Let me look at this under a loop. Oh, it goes outside of the building and everything. How about the reverse, the obverse? It'd be nice if we saw some lines in the obverse. I don't see anything on the obverse. Let me see if I hit it with the light. Does that make a difference? A little bit, maybe. Usually you'll see it in the neck and around the head. That's a really so. Eric from Keen Eye Collectables, he taught me that it was you have to turn it around to see. So that's the head. Very, very nice die clash. Does the light help or hurt? Hurt. Okay. Very, very nice die clash. One of the nicer ones that I found over the past month or so. Okay, very good. Ooh, now it looks so dark, right? Until I do this. So that's gonna. I guess that was the theme of the show today. No good deed goes unrewarded. That's a beauty. I'll put that with the AUs. AU. 96. Nope. It's the 95 and the 94 and the 97 that have key varieties, but no, nothing for the 96. And I think it's just cool, right? Because I mean, if you think about it, if you think about the things that we spend money on, a few bucks here and there, for most of us, I mean, like the majority of us, it's not gonna doesn't make that big of a deal. But it is a nice little microcosm, right? The channel, I'm saying, to look at kindnesses, donations, super chats, members, and it gives me an opportunity to say thank you. I mean, Not for nothing. For 20 years, I was a social worker, man, and therapist, and just killing myself, you know, not literally, you know what I'm saying, working very hard to help others. And I got a lot of thank yous, I got a lot of thank yous. I did. 59, yeah, nice, you know. But I think here, this will be my opportunity to say thank you to others. And for me, that is very special. You know, I remember when Eric became our first member. Forget about it, man. That I was so happy. Somebody took interest in what I was doing, and other than my wife, I'm saying, she always takes an interest in everything I do. God bless her. Let me tell you, she's a saint. And that was great. And of course, then there was the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and that's all. I'm just sharing my thoughts on the subject. So, irregardless, I hope everybody. Anyway, if you're still here, let me say a special thank you to you. I like when the tilted hub goes through the on the reverse. There's something a little bit different about it, especially through the top elements, because there's such big letters and bold. You get this like connection between them, like dips and loops. Let me look at that under the loop. It doesn't necessarily give it any value, um, but it does create a nice pattern and image. I mean, some of them. I mean, obviously, if it's really, really tilted, it could have some value. Maybe I'll put that with the other one just to show a reverse. Yeah. So if you're still here and you click like and subscribe, I appreciate it. All I do here is penny roll hunting and talk a little bit about what's on my mind. Obviously, if we're getting a lot of errors, that would you know change the direction of the flow. But today, did we get anything super duper? That's a nice one. Put that with the AUs. Well, we did get that die clash. Let me see. We got those are the tilted hubs. That's the bronze. I think that's one I said I was going to look at later. Ditto. Oh, that's the annealed. Oh, that's the toning one with the blisters. That's the so this is probably the most significant one. The die clash. That's a nice die clash. And then the one we just in the 1959, and that's a wrap. Got quite a bit of copper for the two rolls. Maybe about 15%, 20%, including whatever copper's there. Mostly zinc, but this was a nice roll. Not as nice as the other one. The other ones I put to the side. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. Um, I did it kind of quick yesterday, and those rolls are really gonna take some serious. The ones from episode 206. The one that I reviewed in episode 206 with the stripes. Because I have a feeling that there's going to be some nice stuff in there. Definitely tons and tons of mint state pennies are going to be in there. So I really have to you know, they're going to be a little bit more special. I might have to have the microscope out for those. Um, anyway, God bless, and I'll see you in episode 208.